Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and we got Dr. Brandon Nielsen in the house.
Yes.
We want to talk about the record heat that is going around the world right now, and just a couple of tips to help you deal with the heat and, survive it. I think there are some health tips that are really, really important that we can share because, I have some opinions, but let's start with you. Like what?
I was going to say we should start with you, but that's okay. So one of the things with, with heat, obviously hydration, number one thing, okay? The number one thing. I've broken fevers before for little kids just by giving them fluids. I know it's crazy, like, I'll ask somebody, and we talked about this in a video a while ago, but when a kid is sick, oftentimes parents just forget to give their kids, or if they're throwing up especially, they'll stop giving them fluids. And yeah, I've broken fevers really easily with just fluids and adding a little bit of minerals. So I'll usually add like some type of a trace mineral, or like you can do a sea salt or a pink salt. And what you do is if you do it in a little bit of juice, because sometimes salty water is gross, right? So you do just a little bit of juice and then just add a titch of salt to taste. What that will do is actually start increasing your electrolytes naturally, and you can't just do that one time. You have to start to build that up over days. So a lot of times people will think, oh, if I take salt or if I take minerals one time, it's going to all of a sudden get my reserves up. It doesn't. You have to do it over days. So if it's really hot, what you're going to do is making sure you're hydrated, and you don't just become hydrated one day. You want to be drinking water each day. So you want your pee to be like a kind of a lightish yellow color. If you're super clear, you're probably going pee too much, but you just want this kind of light, nice yellow color. Don't go too dark. And if you want to go to the bathroom more often, then you can go more clear. But that's the number one thing. The number one too is getting used to heat, because there's people all over the world.
Yeah.
They are totally fine in the extreme desert conditions or in very humid conditions. What you have to do, so I'll give you an example on, was it Saturday or, anyways, last week I was going to go and play tennis. No, I was going to go and play pickleball outside. It was really hot. Nobody's there during the middle of the day, okay? But I want to start to increase my ability to withstand heat, because if I'm playing in a tournament, then I've got to oftentimes play in the middle of the day. So and this is what you need to do. Same type of thing that I do for myself is you go out in the heat, and you actually work, but you don't push it too hard. You just kind of go out before you get dehydrated or get a headache or anything like that. So it may be just like 10 minutes. So it's actually heat conditioning.
No, and that is so perfect. I'm so glad you brought this up. I'm going to insert a little story here because this is so true.
Because I still got to go outside.
Yeah.
For me.
Right. For sure. Yeah. So it was actually maybe 2 summers ago, I was hiking with a friend who I hike with a lot, who wanted to bring a new friend. And this new friend just wanted to get into hiking. She was a little bit overweight, but it's like, yeah, but this is, to me, it's just like one foot in front of the other. We can stop and rest as much as we want. And what happened is, it was the middle of the summer, super hot, and this person who brought the friend, they kept saying, she's not quite ready, she's not quite ready. We didn't actually get on the trail till noon, right in the heat, and this was an over 100 degree day.
Wow.
So I'm acclimated.
And you're up in the mountains, so it's more humid.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
I'm just saying, because it's going to be more humid up.
Right.
Generally up in the mountains, it's going to be more humid.
Right.
Super hot.
Yeah. And so we all had water, including the person who was new, and we went on a hike that had a little bit of strenuousness to it, but it was a place that ends in a waterfall. So this was really a big motivation for this new hiker. She wanted to go see something beautiful. So we took our time. And even when we got to, I saw that she was struggling, and it was just like, maybe we should, it's okay if we turn around. It's middle of the day. It's really hot. And she's like, no, I got this. And we got to the waterfall. It was beautiful. And then on the way down, she started to kind of crash a little, like, so I could see what was happening. And I had a big container of very ice cold water. And she ended up drinking my whole thing of water. She finished hers, And it took us a couple hours to get down where it only should have taken us about 40 minutes to get down.
Oh, wow.
So, and I ended up doing the hike with almost no water, and I was fine.
Right.
Because I was acclimated to it. So even, I mean, there is something so powerful to that about getting used to heat. I mean, we're always used to blasting our air conditioner in our car. And like you said, do little chunks of time.
Yes.
To me, that's the most important thing, is realizing I'm not just go acclimate to heat and go out and spend a 100-degree day for 5 hours in the heat. No, don't do that. Use your common sense. But that, I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is, it's like, of course, Jane, I brought that up.
No, I'm saying we think alike. So.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, when you were saying that. So, and then hydrating. I think those are the two most important things. And with, eat light, eat fruit, one of my things I love to do during the summer is watermelon. Cold watermelon. I'll keep a fresh watermelon, and then I'll cut half of it. I'll cut it up in little chunks and keep it in the refrigerator. And I'm telling you, when I had a whole watermelon cut up last weekend, and my grandkids came over, they ate the whole thing. I mean, now it wasn't ginormous. It was probably about this big, which is big.
It's plenty big.
But the thing is, if you had, and it was cold, so even though it was hot, it was refreshing. It was hydrating. There was nutrients in there. There were minerals in there. So
That's nice.
I think if we are really, if you were to go eat at a fast food restaurant with a bunch of fried food on a really hot day,
it's heavy.
Your body's just going to be
It's
like,
just heavy.
SOS, help.
Right. It's interesting. I was just listening to Wimbledon is being played right now. So tennis, you guys, Wimbledon, and I love watching excellency. And so I don't watch the whole thing. I'll just watch the recaps. But I was watching an interview on Novak Djokovic. He's number 2 in the world, right? From Serbia. What's really interesting, he said, because they're asking him, like, what is your diet? What does your diet consist? And he basically said, I go super light. So think about this. Anytime you're going to increase your temperature in heat or exercise, you want to go lighter. And he was just talking how he does fruits, vegetables, maybe like a quinoa or a millet, some type of a grain, but he goes super light. So he's not internally heated up. And you guys, I'll tell you this. If you feel thirsty, you've already lost 6% of your body weight in fluids. So yeah, if you're going out into the sun or into the heat, the humidity is crazy, because people think I'm sweating. I have, it's no, you've got to rehydrate. But if you're already thirsty, you're basically already slightly dehydrated.
Yeah. So luckily it's easy to hydrate.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah. Okay, and here's a good way to end this. You know what I love about Novak Djokovic?
What's that?
His stance on freedom and what you can inject in your body.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go there, I love the most about him. He's like, no. Like, I saw him interviewed by a reporter who said, you have the chance to become the all-time greatest tennis player of all time. And if you just get this, you can come into this country and you can play in this tennis tournament. He's like, nope, not worth it.
Because he knows how. This is interesting. He could have become the greatest tennis player of all time, or inject something into his body, and he said no to the injection, and he still has become the greatest tennis player of all time, because he doesn't budge on his values, especially his health, because he knows, I mean, he's 36. He's going to keep playing tennis for who knows how long.
Right. I love him. I've been following him for a long time, and then when this whole thing hit, I was just like, because I'm with you. I love looking at excellence in sports, and I kind of like the recaps too. But to me, that's my favorite thing.
I love that he maintains his values. So
yeah, let's maintain our values
and get hydrated.
Yeah. So I think we can all survive the heat. I love the tips we gave today. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.